Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Sukirti Madhavi, and we welcome you for this lovely evening where we will be spending some time discussing the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Before we start, I can see in the chat window Chaitanya Pratosh is saying that Bhakti Charu Maharaj is singing. Yes, you are right. It's His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj who's singing that, and those of you who know him should actually get a copy of this book called Ocean of Mercy. Strongly recommended. It's a lovely book by Maharaj, a must read.
And also, before we continue, we would like to tell all of you that we went through each of your comments.
In the WhatsApp group.
Do you remember what did you send last time in the group? Can somebody tell us in the chat? What did you send last time? In the CC group, WhatsApp group, what did you send? I remember. That's why I'm saying I'm asking you whether you guys remember.
Is the chat open? Open.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Savita Patel, Prashant, Satyendra, Krishna Kumar, Dinesh, Pankaja Lakshmi. We can see you, but we are not able to
read messages
from you. Yes.
Okay,
so here it is. Krishna is the ultimate shelter. Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan. Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna is same.
Yeah, so basically you had sent your points, the 3 takeaways, and some of you had sent actually more. So I just wanted to share, I wanted to tell you, all of you, that we actually went through each of your messages and we are very happy.
Yes.
That, the way you are able to take away the essence of that chapter with you. So it is just extremely gladdening for us.
So thank you all very much. Now let's all chant our Manglacharan prayers and then we will begin. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya
Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhaevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Vracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam amande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram.
Hare Krishna. So this is where we were in the last session. We have discussed chapter 2, Adi Lila chapter 2, and we saw that how this most of the part of this chapter is actually the explanation of the first verse, the third verse from the first chapter of Adi Lila. So we have demonstrated, or rather Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has demonstrated that how Bhagavan is superior to Brahma and Paramatma, how Sri Krishna is superior to Narayan, how Krishna is the source of all incarnation and Krishna is shelter and abode of everything. So today we would begin from verse number 96, where we would be discussing about Krishna's forms and energies. So we will complete chapter 2 and we will enter into chapter 3, and Krishna willing, we will complete chapter 3 today. So let's all take the invoke auspiciousness by singing Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we are moving into this section, Krishna's form and energy, from verse 96 to 108. Krishna Swarupa Ara Shakti Traya Gyan Tamrahaya Tanra Nahi Krishna Te Agyan.
One who knows the real feature of Sri Krishna and his three different energies cannot remain ignorant about him. So now we will discuss Sri Krishna, his form and his energies.
So great. This knowledge is very, very important, because if we know all of this knowledge, if we gain this spiritual transcendental knowledge, some people confuse that bhakti is only about sentiments. No, bhakti requires so much of gyan, bhakti gyan, so much of knowledge is required. And when we acquire this knowledge, then what happens? We cannot remain ignorant about Lord Krishna. So we actually in reality understand God. This just 3-letter word, but to understand, we have to understand gain so much of knowledge. So here in this particular section, there are 6 manifestations which are involved. So there are 2 types of Vilas manifestations, 2 types of Vilas incarnations, and 2 ages of the Lord. So these are the forms that are described. So to begin with, we will see Krishna's form, Vilas manifestation. This is what we will see in the beginning. So we Vilas forms, if you remember, we discussed in the previous chapter that how Krishna manifests as Prabhav and Vaibhav, right? So this is the Prabhav, the fully potent. So there are 2 types in that, eternal and temporary, and there are some examples that were given by Krishnadas Kaviraj, so we just presented them as it is. Dhanvantri, Rishabdev, Vyasa, Dattatreya, Kapila, they are all eternal Prabhav manifestations, fully potent. Some of them are temporary, which manifest just for a very, very short period of time, not very well known, just for a specific some purpose. Lord manifests those forms. Those are Mohini, Hamsa, and Shukla. So these are the Prabhav form, which are fully potent, and then we have Vaibhav forms, which are partially potent, which have slightly less manifestation of the potency of the Lord, and there are many of them. Kurma Dev, when Lord appeared as a big, huge tortoise, and we have Matsya, we have Nar Narayan Rishis, we have Varaha Dev. Varaha, in near close to Chennai, we have a very amazing temple of Varahadev, and Hayagriv and Prishni Garba. So these are the Vaibhav forms which are partially potent, whereas these are the fully potent forms of the Lord. So these are the 2 manifestations, Vilas manifestations. Next we will see Vilas incarnations. So incarnations are of 2 types. One is partial or Amsa. of the Lord, which we also saw in the previous chapter. So these are represented by the Vishnu forms, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So these forms also we discussed. So these are the two partial Amsa on empowered Shakti-avesh avatar. So here we see Narad Muni is sitting here. So Narad Muni is a very famous Shakti-avesh avatar of the Lord, where Lord has empowered a living entity for a particular purpose.
So to make it like to simplify it, as the name demonstrate, Amsh means Bhagwan ka or Krishna's small amsh or part is there in them. So it doesn't have fully potent Krishna, but it has certain part of it. So that is why it is partial or amsh. And then Shaktya Avesh, which means the Lord is investing his Shakti in that particular Jivatma. So basically this particular type of incarnation, they are Jiva or living entities like all of us, but especially empowered by the Supreme Lord, because Lord invests his energy in them. So this is the difference between Amsha and Shakti Avesh.
So here Vishnu is an Amsha. Yes, Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. The Vishnu forms which manifest and maintain and annihilate the material universes, they are all Amsa of the Lord. And finally we come to the two ages of the Lord. So there are two ages, which is child and boy. In Sanskrit, this is called Balya and this is called Paugand. So these are the two ages that Lord manifests. But we need to understand that the permanent form of the Lord is adolescent. So in the spiritual world, Lord always manifests the adolescent form. Right, so that is the form which is permanently manifested by the Lord in the spiritual world, whereas the child and the boy, these two ages are manifested by the Lord in the material world.
So here we have discussed 6 categorization of Krishna's form. So we discussed Prabhav and Vaibhav. Then we discussed Amsha and Shakti-avesh. And here we are discussing about childhood and boy. Yeah, the ages, different ages. So different ages he manifests, but eternally he is Navayavan, he is an adolescent.
Yes, so Vijay, yes, that's right. This age is called Kaishore age.
Age haya rupe haya ananta vibheda ananta rupe karupa nahi kichu bheda. In these 6 kinds of forms, there are innumerable varieties. Although they are many, they are all one. There is no difference between them. So we discussed about different forms or different categories of the Supreme Lord. And please don't get perplexed if you are not really able to categorize them into different categories, because here that is why Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying that they are all the one, there is no difference. So this is a little technical portion of it, and we have tried to simplify to whatever degree possible. And don't worry, it will become clear in due course of time if it is not clear now.
And also, if you notice, if you go to the StudyGita website, go into this particular course on Chaitanya Charitamrita, the notes are uploaded. So you will find very succinct, very limited pointers are given there, so that, you know, so that it's all simple, neat and clean. Second thing which I like to tell you is that this is not the last time that we are discussing this subject matter. It will come again and again and again and again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and as in when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, there also this particular description and discussion will come quite frequently. So don't worry, by the time we are done reading all these scriptures, we will become Panditas with all this knowledge and information. So don't worry, just hang on. And let's go to the energies of the Lord, because here we are discussing the form and now we will discuss the energies of the Lord.
And since Prabhu mentioned about the notes, we would like to thank Santosh and Puneet, who have volunteered to prepare the notes. So they are really working hard on the notes. So when we complete the session, they do that. So thank you, Santosh and Puneet, for that service.
Yeah, and GMC notes done by
Nitya Kishori.
Yeah. We will thank her also. Yes, thank you.
So here it is Krishna's energy. Now Krishna's energy is divided into 3 categories. First is his external energy, which is also known as Maya Shakti, and this energy is the cause of all the material universes. The second is the spiritual energy, which is Chit Shakti or spiritual energy, and this sustains the kingdom of God and its paraphernalia. So this is represented by Srimati Radharani. And then the third is the Jiva Shakti. You and me, we are talking about us, marginal energy, who are the living entities. Now these marginal energy, they are on the margin. That is why they get the name marginal energy. And this marginal energy at all point of time in their lives, they are either controlled by external energy or by spiritual energy. So we are standing, just like if there is an ocean and we are standing at the shore and we have an option to jump in the ocean or to go behind. So like that, either we get into Maya Shakti or we get into Chit Shakti. So that option is ours, and I'm sure that all of us are choosing to get under the control of spiritual energy, and that is why we are all here. Emata Swarupa Gana Aratina Shakti Sabhara Ashraya Krishna Krishna Sabhastiti.
These are the principal manifestations and expansions of the personality of Godhead and his three energies. They are all emanations from Sri Krishna, the transcendence. They have their existence in him. So this is very important for us to understand that all these principal manifestations and expansions and the three energies of the Lord are nothing but emanations from Sri Krishna. Their existence is in him, in the Lord, and they cannot exist independently of the Supreme Lord. So they are completely dependent on Lord Krishna. So this is what was the important point. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. So this is from Brahma Samhita, prayers offered to Supreme Lord Krishna by Brahmaji. So this is how Brahma is glorifying Krishna, his forms and his energies.
Yes, so somebody asks, whom do you worship? And you say Krishna, and you tell me something about Krishna. Somebody asks, this is the very nice verse which you can quote. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidanand Vigraha.
Coming to the last section of this second chapter, from verse number 9 to 21, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord.
So I remember some of you were very excited to see the verses which actually identify that how Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya is non-different from Lord Krishna, and there are many verses. So we have just selected a few of them, and Krishnadas Kaviraj again would quote many of these verses in due course of time.
Say Krishna avatari Vrajendra Kumar Apane Chaitanya Rupe Koila Avatar. That same Lord Krishna, say Krishna Avatari Vrajendra Kumar, that same Lord Krishna, the fountainhead of all incarnation, is known as the son of King of Vraja. So here we are talking about Nanda Baba and his son Krishna. Apane Chaitanya Rupe Koila Avatar, that same Krishna has descended personally as Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu.
This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam. You can see it is from 7th canto, 9th chapter, 38th verse. This is quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj here. My Lord, you kill all the enemies of the world in your multifarious incarnations, in the families of men, animals, demigods, rishis, aquatics, and so on. Thus you illuminate the worlds with transcendental knowledge. In the age of Kali, O Mahapurush, you sometimes appear in a covered incarnation. Therefore, you are known as Tri-Yuga, one who appears in only 3 yugas. So this verse here it mentions One, it mentions that the Lord appears through so many incarnations in different species, among men, animals. Lord appears among devatas, the rishis, the aquatic, and so on. And then the verse goes that Lord appears in Kali Yuga also, and sometimes you appear as a covered incarnation. So here we see that Lord Chaitanya actually is a covered incarnation, because Lord appeared as a great devotee of the Lord, and that's how many people know him. But the pure devotees know that actually he is non-different from Krishna. So Lord appeared as covered incarnation, and therefore sometimes Lord is known as Triyugi or Triyuga, that he appears in Satyug, Treta and Dwapar, but not in Kali Yuga, because in Kali Yuga he appears as a devotee. He wants to keep his identity hidden, and so that people don't know, and just learn from him that as how he practices devotional service as a devotee.
Punya kshetre navadvipe bhavishyami shachishutaha. So this is quoted from Krsna-yamala-tantra, that I shall appear in the holy land of Navadvip as the son of Shachi Devi. So when we will read, we will find out that how Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, he actually appeared in this place called Navadvip, or islands, Navadvip, and his mother's name is Shachi Devi. So this Krsna-yamala-tantra, this is quoted by Srila Prabhupada in the purports there. These few verses are quoted by Srila Prabhupada to emphasize as how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord Krishna himself. So Krishna is speaking that verse in Krsna-yamala-tantra, predicting about his future advent. Gaura Sarvatma Mahapurusho Mahatma Mahayogi Trigunatita Sattvarupo Bhaktim Loke Kashyati.
Lord Gaura, who is the all-pervading super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, appears as a great saint and powerful mystic who is above the three modes of material nature and is the emblem of transcendental activity. He disseminates the cult of devotion throughout the world. So here, so many qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are given. Lord Gaura, see the word. This is verse from Chaitanya Upanisad, the 5th verse. Gaura, so the name has been identified here. Who is all-pervading super soul, Sarvatma, Mahapurusho, as a great saint, Mahatma, Mahayogi, a very powerful mystic, Trigunatit, which means he is beyond the three gunas or the modes of material nature, and he is the emblem of transcendental activity, Bhaktim Loke Kashyati, and he is teaching the whole world about bhakti. So this is another verse which is predicting the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga.
Chaitanya Gosai Re Tattva Nirupana Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Vrajendra Nandana Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padayara Ash Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Das. So here he is concluding, Krishnadas Kaviraj is concluding that Chaitanya Gosai Ei Tattva Nirupan Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Vrajendra Nandan. So Vrajendra Nandan, Lord Krishna himself has appeared as Sri Chaitanya Gosai. There is no difference in the tattva between the two of them. And then the 121 is the last verse of this chapter, where Krishnadas Kaviraj is offering obeisances to his guru Srila Rup Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami.
And this verse you will very often see most of the chapters. Yeah, will end with this particular verse. So now we'll move to the third chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
So here it is the section breakup for this one. So this chapter is divided into 5 broad categories. The first 4 verses are the prelude or introduction. Verse number 5 to 13, when Krishna appears. So that time scale is given as when and how often Krishna appears. Verse number 14 to 29, Krishna is himself contemplating and thinking about coming as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna's thoughts are mentioned there. Then verse number 30 to 91 talks about the attributes of Lord Chaitanya and predictions about his coming to this material world. And verse number 92 to 114 talks about the reason for Lord Chaitanya's descent. So we invite you, welcome you to get into this chapter, chapter 3, the external reasons for appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So section 1 to 4.
Shri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Yat Prasadashraya Viryataha Sangrinati Akar Vratat Agya Siddhanta Sanmanihin. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By the potency of the shelter of his lotus feet, even a fool can collect the valuable jewels of conclusive truth from the minds of revealed scriptures. So it's a very beautiful verse where he's saying that if we offer our respectful obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and if we take the shelter of his lotus feet, then what can happen? Yes, I'm a fool, but even a foolish person like me, he can collect the conclusive truth, the conclusions of the revealed scriptures. Even I can discover those jewels. The necessity is, what is the necessary condition? That I take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which means I accept him as a Supreme Lord, I worship him, and I surrender myself to him.
So as we have seen that chapter number 1 was a discussion of verse 1 and 2 from Adi Lila chapter 1. Chapter number 2 was the discussion of verse number 3. And this chapter we are going to discuss this 4th verse, which is again actually the 4th verse from the 1st chapter. So it says, "May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Srimati Shachi Devi, be transcendently situated in the innermost core of your heart." So this is the benediction or a blessing which the author is giving us or praying on behalf of us, that may Lord Chaitanya be always situated in our heart, resplendent with the radiance of molten gold. So it's describing the qualities and the characteristics of him, that his body complexion is like molten gold. So if you have gold which you melt, so the complexion what that would have, that is the complexion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has descended in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before. So there have been so many incarnations in the past, but nobody has offered what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give us. And what is that? The most elevated mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So now, my dear devotees, the rest of the chapter, we are going to dwell upon this particular verse. So verse number 5 to 13, talking about Krishna's appearance on earth, how often he appears.
So this particular section is very interesting.
Brahmara eka dine tino ek baar avatirna na karen prakata vihar.
Once in a day of Brahma, he descends to this world to manifest his transcendental pastimes. So actually these are a set of verses. We have just picked up this one in the previous verse. Krishnadas Kaviraj is talking about Lord Krishna. So he's saying that Lord Krishna, he appears how many times in day of Brahma? Once. So Brahma has a long, really long day. And in that long day, Krishna appears only once to manifest his pastimes in the material world.
So before we get on the next slide, we want all of you to sit straight, completely attentive. If you have your pen and paper, you can have it. And it's a very interesting universal time scale which Prabhu is going to explain. So be alert and attentive And here we go.
Yeah, we spend some time, not too much, but little some time we spend on the next slide. We spend so much time on this slide so that you can understand very clearly. You can see it is so clear. So much clarity will come by looking at this slide. Okay. Okay, so what age are we in? Can all of you?
Which yuga? Which yuga? Just
are we
type the name of the yuga fast.
Make it more clear.
What is the age? Yes, Kali Yuga. Good. Okay, thank you. So we are in Kali Yuga. Okay, you can notice that small black box at the bottom. Okay, so this we are in Kali Yuga. So the duration of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years, out of which roughly 5,000 years have passed. Okay. Next.
Before it.
Yeah, before it. I mean, I'm just trying to explain the different ages that are. So Dwapar Yuga, I'm sure almost all of us would have heard of this. Dwapar Yuga, the length of Dwapar Yuga is twice that of Kali Yuga. So which means 4,32,000 years into 2. So Dwapar Yuga is twice Kali Yuga. Is that okay? Next is Treta Yuga. Treta is 3 times Kali Yuga.
So 432,000 into 3.
Yes. So I hope I'm going really slow so that all of you can, understand. And finally, the first yuga is Satyug, which is 4 times the age of Kali, the duration of Kali Yuga. So if you add all of this, how many times Kali Yuga that duration has come? So 4 times in Satyug, 3 times in Treta, 2 times in Dwapar, and 1 time Kali Yuga. So total how many times? It is 10 times. Okay, so that is the total duration, which means 43,20,000 years is the total duration of Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. And these 4 yugas are called one Divya Yuga. So is this point clear? If this is what I'm saying is clear, just type yes in the comment box so that I know that it's really okay. Dinesh, thank you. I hope it's clear to others also on YouTube. You like for us to know, okay? Sukhi is saying you continue. This should be very clear.
Yeah, we got from YouTube also. Wonderful. Krishna, Damadar, Pramod, Krishna, Balram, Chaitanya Prabhu. Okay, so Divya Yuga is clear to everyone.
Okay.
Now let's see.
So now we will see this entire Divya Yuga, which means these many years. This is the 28th Divya Yuga of one Manvantar. So I'll explain this. So there are different Manus. One Manu rules for a duration of 1 Manvantar. Okay. So this is the reign of Manus. Like if you study history, you have King Ashok, you have other different kings, and it will be mentioned in the Mughal dynasty, the Maurya dynasty. Yeah. So they will be mentioning how many years each king ruled. So here we have Manvantar, 1 Manu, and he rules for 17 Divya Yuga cycles.
71.
So 71 Divya Yuga cycles, and we have already understood what one Divya Yuga is all about. So we are currently, all of us, we are currently in the 28th Divya Yuga cycle. Okay. So how many have passed? 27 Divya Yugas have already been completed of this particular Manvantar. 27 Divya Yugas have been completed. 43 more Divya Yugas are yet to go. So we are moving really into a really long time span. And what is amazing is that in this 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears, and following Lord Krishna appears in Dwapar, and in the following Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya also appears.
So now we are talking about this Manvantara. So current, you would like to...
Yeah, we are going back. Wait. Okay. So these actually, who's this Manvantar? Because there are different Manvantars, and we should know in which Manvantar we are currently living. The name of the Manu who's controlling this Manvantar, his name is Vaivasvata Manu. So his name is Vaivasvata Manu. He is the 7th Manu in the line.
Son of Sun God.
Yeah. So there are in one day of Brahma, see here we can see one day of Brahma has 14 Manus. 14 Manus, and out of which 6 Manus time is already elapsed. So in this day of Brahma, the 12 hours of Brahma, 6 Manus have already elapsed. We are in the 7th Manu, Vaivasvata Manu. In 7th Manu, there are 71 Yuga cycles. Okay, in one Manvantar, 27 are already over, 28th we are currently in, 43 are yet to go. And after this, again, the cycle would continue 8, 9 to 14, and then that's how the Brahmas one day will get over. So I hope we got some bird's eye view.
So, as Prabhu is explaining, one day of Brahma, in one day, 14 Manus change. So in one day, the duration of that one day is so long that his day is divided into 14 periods, and each is reigned by a different Manu. And in this one day of Brahma, now coming to the fortune part of it, that in this one day of Brahma, only once Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu themselves appear. Only once. So we are extremely fortunate that we are situated in that particular Divya Yuga cycles, Kali Yuga, where Krishna has just appeared 5,000 years ago and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just appeared 500 years ago. So Veena is asking their question about golden age of Kali Yuga. So this is what we are living in, the golden age of Kali Yuga, because Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just appeared. I mean, you see the time scale. Right? So 71 Divya Yuga cycles, out of which only once, not only that 71, actually 14 Manus and only once.
Yeah, so here the first Manvantar was the Swayambhuva Manvantar. So he had 71 Divya Yuga cycles. Then the second Manu had 71, third had 71. Then sixth was the Chakshusha Manvantar. He had 71 cycles. Finally, when Vaivasvata Manu came, the 7th Manu, in that also 27 Divya Yuga cycles over, 28 Divya Yuga cycle Krishna appeared, and all of us are now present in the following Kali Yuga. And so, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared.
In YouTube, B Intuitive is asking 71 into 14 Divya Yuga equals to one day of Brahma. Yes, 71 Divya Yuga into 14 is equal to one day of Brahma.
Yeah.
And Dinesh is asking, what is the reference, Bhagavatam or CC? So the reference is both Bhagavatam and CC. And even in purport of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains this whole thing in quite detail.
Yeah, so these are, if you look at from this particular chapter, so 7, 8, 9 and 10, these 4 verses are describing this. So this particular calculation has been taken from astronomical book which is called Surya Siddhanta. So there is a book called Surya Siddhanta. From that, this information has been taken and understood. These all calculations are based on the solar years.
Okay, so let's get into it. So now we have understood that how Krishna appears. So now we will see
when he appears.
When he appears. So now we will see how Krishna was contemplating. Yes, we are in the 28th Divya Yuga. Okay, we understand that it is really like
of Vaivasvata Manu. So that is Vaivasvata Manu. So sometimes actually if you are careful, if somebody is taking your Sankalpa, he will mention all of this. He will mention these many of these details. So what is Krishna contemplating? He appeared, and what is he contemplating after that?
Yuga Dharma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtana Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhuvana Apani Karimu Bhakta Bhava Angikare Apani Achari Bhakti Shikhaimu Sabare. So Krishna is thinking, now these are the words of Krishna. So Krishna is thinking that Yuga Dharma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtan, that I shall personally inaugurate the Yuga Dharma, the process for this current age. And that process is Nam Sankirtan. So Nam Sankirtan means congregationally chanting the holy names. So together people congregate at one place and they chant the holy names. And this chanting can be in 2 forms, either in Kirtan when we sing or Japa when we chant to ourselves. So Krishna is thinking that I should go and do this. Chari bhava bhakti diya nachamu bhavane. He's thinking that I will make them, I will give them the 4 rasas or the 4 relationships or the 4 mellows of devotional service. Chari bhava bhakti diya. So what we have been studying, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. So these are the 4 types of bhakti he's thinking about. So he's thinking that I shall go inaugurate this Sankirtan movement, give 4 types of bhakti, and what else? Nachamu bhuvana, means I'll make the whole world dance into ecstasy. So that is what Krishna is desiring. And then he says, Apani karimu bhakta bhava angikare, apani achari bhakti shikhaimu sabare. That who can teach? Who can teach this process of bhakti? So he is thinking that probably I should accept the role of a devotee, go to the material world, live like a devotee, and teach them how to follow this process of devotional service. So Krishna is thinking that I should go like a teacher and teach them how to be a devotee.
So because the highest form of bhakti, there is nobody else who can teach it except the Supreme Lord. Only the Supreme Lord can teach the highest form of devotional service, which he is mentioning here as Chari Bhav Bhakti, the 4 types of relationships with the Lord.
Yuga dharma pravartana haya amsha haite amavina anya nare vraja prema dite. So Krishna, sorry.
My plenary portions can establish the principles of religion for each age. No one but me, however, can bestow the kind of loving service performed by the residents of Vraja. So here Krishna is making a very, very clear point that my plenary portions can establish the principles of religion. That's not a problem. My plenary portions also can do. But if the bhakti practiced or not practiced, the performed, the bhakti exhibited by Vrajavasis, that can only be given by me. Nobody else can give. So no one but me, however, can bestow the kind of loving service performed by the residents of Vraja. So this is what Krishna is thinking, that this Vraja Bhakti, the devotional service rendered by Vrajavasis, nobody else can give except me. I only have to give it. So there is nobody else whom Krishna can actually delegate the service. So Krishna has to himself take up the responsibility and come. Yes.
Slide. So here you see these are the verses number 19 and 20, and then we have come to verse number 26. So if you'll read these middle 5 verses, they are actually from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says yada yada hi dharma se paritranaya sadhuna. So he is telling that these are the occasions when my what he says amsha or my plenary portion can go and take care of such things. So if there is a decline in religion, that can be addressed by my incarnation. If there is some trouble which somebody is making to my devotee, that also can be done by my incarnation. But when we are talking about the devotional service, which is in topmost level, which we are talking about the Vraj Bhakti, what Vrajavasis have for Krishna, that 4 type of bhakti where we establish a relationship either like a servant or like a parent or like a friend or like a lover. So Krishna is saying that part only I can do. So this is what Krishna is contemplating, and that is why he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So Divya, this is what you are asking, Chari Bhava Bhakti. This is what it is all about. The 4 types of relationships, the 4 types of devotional relationships which one can have with Lord Krishna.
So now the next section is from verse number 30 to 91, and we will see that this section is also divided into various subsections for our easier understanding. So here basically one is attributes of Lord Chaitanya, and second is the prediction about his birth. So these 2 things are broadly discussed, but if we see, we can break down this into 5 subsections.
So we'll discuss the names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll see the prediction done by Garga Muni, because Garga Muni comes very secretly to Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai for the name-giving ceremony of Krishna and Balaram, and that's when he reveals the appearance of Lord later in Kali Yuga. And then we will see Lord Chaitanya's bodily features and qualities. See, this is so amazing that how scriptures give us such accurate, detailed information. And then here Krishnadas Kaviraj will explain that how the bodily features of Lord Chaitanya, just by, if we analyze the form of the Lord, it is not, this form cannot be had by any ordinary person. Only Supreme Lord can have such a form. And then finally, this very, very important verse from Bhagavatam, Krishna Varnam Tusha Akrsnam. So this verse is then further explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj, because this verse from Bhagavatam is specifically talking about Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu, Krishna Varnam Tusha Akrsnam. So that verse is discussed from 50th verse to 83rd verse, and finally there will be a discussion about believers and non-believers. So we are discussing the attributes of Lord Chaitanya and predictions of his appearance. So we'll begin with the names of Lord Chaitanya.
Prathama Lilaya Tanra Vishwambhara Naam Bhakti Rase Bhari Ladhari Labhutagram Shesha Lila Dhare Nama Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Janaye Sabha Vishwa Kaila Dhanya. So Prathama Lilaya, or his early pastime. So actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entire lifespan in this mortal world, or he was here personally present for 48 years. So this 48 years is divided into two parts. First 24 years till the time he was in Grihasthashram. So his childhood pastime, his youth pastime, adolescent, and then finally he gets married. So till that time, it is till 24 years. At the age of 24, he took sannyas. So after that, that is described as the Antya Leela or the Shesh Leela, which is mentioned. So Pratham Leela and Shesh Leela. So here it says that the Pratham Leela, or the early pastime, he was known as Vishwambhar. His name was Vishwambhar because he floods the world with the nectar of devotion and thus saves the living being. In his later pastime, he is known as Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He blesses the whole world by teaching about the name and fame of Lord Sri Krishna. So his entire life is divided into two parts. So Vishwambhar and Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. More is coming up.
So next we have these 6 verses talking about Garga Muni's prediction.
Tanra yoga tara jani garga mahashaya Krishnera nama karane karyache nirnaya Shukla rakta pita varna eitina dyuti Satya treta kali kale dharena shri pripati.
Knowing him, Lord Chaitanya, to be the incarnation for Kali Yuga, Garg Muni during the naming ceremony of Krishna predicted his appearance. So here it's mentioned Krishnera Namakaran. So when there was a Namakaran ceremony of the Supreme Lord, so Krishna was getting a Namakaran Sanskar where Krishna will be named Krishna. Right? So
that time Garg Muni is making this prediction.
So what is he saying? Shukla Rakta Pita Varna Tina Dyuti Satya Treta Kali Kale Dharan Say Shri Pati. So the Supreme Lord, he appears in white, red, yellow. These are the 3 bodily lustures that the Lord, the husband of Goddess of Fortune, assumes in the ages Satya, Treta and Kali respectively. So Garg Muni is telling that Lord, same Lord who has appeared in the past and will appear in the future. So he has appeared in different ages as Shukla, Rakta and Peet color, which means white, red and yellow color. So he has appeared different ages in these colors, and now he has appeared in black color. So this is what is described in Srimad Bhagavatam.
The Bhagavatam verse number, it is in Bhagavatam 10th canto 8th chapter verse number 13 that Garg Muni is making this prediction about white, red and yellow incarnation.
Yeah.
So moving to the next subsection from verse number 41 to 49, where we will discuss about Lord's bodily features and qualities. So now gradually we are getting to know more about Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu.
Yeah. So this is your personal, you can now see the Lord through your ears. So if you carefully hear, then you can actually see the Lord in these verses.
Ajano lambita bhuja kamala lochana tila phula jini nasa sudhamshu vadana. Ajambu lambita bhuj. Bhuja means arms. So his arms are long enough to reach his knees. Maybe after the session you can try how long are your arms. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arms would reach his knees. His eyes are just like lotus flowers. His nose is like a sesame flower. When I read this description, I googled and checked out sesame flower, and I was like thinking as how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's nose would be. So it's like sesame flower, and his face is as beautiful as the moon.
So some of us may be thinking that these moon and sesame flower, actually because we have only experience of material objects. So sometimes the scriptures explain the beauty of the Lord comparing to those material objects so that we have some idea, we can get some conception of his beauty and perfection.
Shanta Danta Krishna Bhakti Nishtha Parayana Bhakta Vatsal Shushila Sarva Bhuta Sama.
So these are some of the qualities of the Lord. He is peaceful, Shant. He is self-controlled.
Dant.
He is fully devoted to the transcendental service of the Lord.
Krishna Bhakti Nishtha Parayan. Nishtha Purvak, he does the Krishna Bhakti.
Fully devoted to the transcendental service of Lord Krishna. He is affectionate towards his devotees.
Bhakta Vatsal.
He is gentle.
Sushil.
And he is equally disposed towards all living beings.
Sarva Bhuta Sama.
So these are some of his amazing qualities.
Suvarna Varno He Mango Varangash Chandanagadi Sanyasa Kricha Mahashanto Nishtha Shanti Parayanaha. So actually we see that Krishnadas Kaviraj has written, or rather paraphrased it in simple Bengali, but he is also giving evidences. So like this particular verse is from Mahabharata. So directly from Mahabharata, this verse he is speaking about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In his early pastimes, he appeared as a householder with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful and his body, smeared with the pulp of sandalwood, seems like molten gold. In his later pastime, he accepts the sannyas order and he is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees.
So yes, so this is a particular portion from the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra and
Dan Dharma of Mahabharata.
Yes. So these are some of those beautiful qualities of the Lord.
Compiled on one slide so that we can remember, we can take a screenshot and meditate on this.
So his face is as beautiful as the moon.
His eyes are like lotus flower.
His voice is deeper than thunder.
His arms extending to his knees.
His nose is like the sesame flower.
His bodily luster is like molten gold.
And what are his decorations? When he goes and when he does Nam Sankirtan, he's decorated with sandalwood pulp. He is wearing sandalwood bangles and armlets. So this is what the decorations are of the Supreme Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So this is about his bodily feature. And the next is about the qualities. So the qualities summarized are that he is peaceful.
He is self-controlled.
He is fully devoted to the service of Krishna, Nishtha Parayan.
And he is affectionate to his devotees. He is Bhakta Vatsal.
He is very gentle, Sushil.
And he is equally disposed towards all living beings.
So that is Lord Chaitanya.
And you will be your heart will be flooded with so much of warmth and bliss when actually you will see how these qualities manifest. They in fact erupt in these verses of Chaitanya Charitamrita as we gradually move into the further chapters.
So now the next section is from verse number 50 to 83, and this is about the Krishna Varnam verse. So this is a very significant verse, and this is the direct quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, which supports or which predicts about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Because Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled 5,000 years back, way before, thousands of years before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, and this prediction was made in the 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse. 11th canto, 5th chapter, 32nd verse is this. This particular verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedashaha. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So if you look here, one thing it's mentioned in the age of Kali. So this prediction is about age of Kali. Intelligent persons perform congregational chanting. So all of you are intelligent. All of you chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra are intelligent people. You are being certified by Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of God. Who's that incarnation of God? Who's constantly chanting name, specifically it's mentioned Krishna.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. So he is non-different from Krishna. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj will split up this particular verse, Krishna Varnam, and then he'll split up Tusha Krishnam, then he'll separately discuss Sango, Pangastra, Parshadam, and finally he'll discuss the last two lines of this verse. So these are the four subjects of this verse, the topics of this verse he will discuss in these many verses.
So verse number 54 and 55, just the two words Krishna Varnam. 56 to 59, he would explain Tvisa Krishnam. 60 to 76, Sango Pangastra Parshadam, and the balance verse in verse number 77 to 79. So let's discuss the verses 54 and 55.
So remember, this is the Krishna Varnam verse which is being discussed. So we are talking about now Krishna Varnam, this particular two words.
Krishna e doi varna sadayana mukhe अथवा कृष्ण के तीहो वर्ण निज सुखे
कृष्ण वर्ण शब्देरा दुविधा प्रमाणा कृष्ण वियुतांद्रा मुखे नाहि ऐसे आना.
The two syllables Krishna are always in his mouth, or he constantly describes Krishna with great pleasure. So now he here refers to Srimad Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. So these two syllables, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So it is always in his mouth, or he discusses the topics of Krishna with great pleasure. These are two meanings of the word Krishna Varna. Indeed, nothing else but Krishna issues from his mouth. So Krishna Varna means somebody who's either constantly chanting Krishna or glorifying Krishna. So that is the first verse.
And as we carefully go through the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will see that nothing else is done by Lord Chaitanya. These are the two things which he does.
Ke hatandre bale yadi Krishna varana Ara visheshane tare kare nivarana Deha kante hayate ho Akrsna varana
Akrishna varane kahe pita varana. If someone tries to describe him as being blackish complexion, the next adjective, Tusha Krishnam, Tusha Akrsnam, immediately restricts him. His complexion is certainly not blackish. Indeed, his not being blackish indicates that his complexion is yellow. So this is what is mentioned, Krishna Varnam. Then next what is Tusha Krishnam. So he is not blackish. So because we know that this particular incarnation of the Lord is a hidden incarnation, so there is not, so all the everything is being described in an indirect way. So here it's mentioned that his complexion is not blackish. Then what is his complexion like? It is opposite of blackish. So some of us may think, oh, opposite of black may be white, but here it's mentioned the opposite of black is yellow. Peeth Varna. So I was just thinking that this is my own thought process, my own speculation. So like if we see the night time, it's all dark, black. It's pitch black, especially if there's no moon, it's pitch black. But when sun rises, it is golden actually. You know, it's golden. So that's how, but that's my own speculation here.
So with this, we will end our today's session. Though we want to continue, I mean, I didn't feel like stopping, but I saw that it is 10:02. So
yeah, you wouldn't believe, Sugidhi, you know, in the last slide, I saw the time and I saw, oh, it's 9:58 or something, you know, then I was thinking, oh, wow.
So I hope you all are enjoying as much as we relish discussing Chaitanya Charitamrita. So again, few quick announcements. Some of you have been marking the attendance, but you have not registered at our website, StudyGita.com. So we really request you to register there so that we have your centralized data, and if we have to send any assignments, etc. So we pick up the data from there. So we request you, please, if possible, kindly register at our website also. Second announcement, that those of you who have not joined our CC WhatsApp group as of now, again, we request you to please join it there, because all the announcement regarding CC, we send it at that group. Third announcement, that again, like last session, we would open the CC WhatsApp group for next 12 hours, or rather tomorrow till 12 noon. And we request you to send us the message what you really liked from today's session. So any 2 or 3 things which really touched your heart, or which really inspired you, or which really mesmerized you, or you were amazed about that. So any interesting things, 3 points, we'll be reading your messages. So kindly send us. If you are not a part of WhatsApp group as of now, so here is the number on the slide. On the slide, it's there. So we have our number displayed. So kindly send a message and we will add you to the WhatsApp group. So thank you all very much. Looking forward to see all of you next week. Any questions, kindly post at Q&A link and we will take it up. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That answer, we will not accept everything we liked. That is not an acceptance. Yeah, you have to mention specifically what exactly you liked, and we will be very keenly we'll read all your answers.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Chaitanya Mahāprabhu ki jai.
যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিতাম দে। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত কেমনে ধরিতাম দে। রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানা তোকে। রাধার মহিমা প্রেম রস সীমা জগতে জানা তোকে। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে। মধুর বৃন্দা বিপিন মাধুরী প্রবেশ চাতুরীশা। মধুর বৃন্দা বিপিন মাধুরী প্রবেশ চাতুরীশা। বড় যুবতী ভাবের ভকতি শকতি হইত কার। বড় যুবতী ভাবের ভকতি শকতি হইত কার। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে। গাও গাও পুন গৌরাঙ্গের গুণ সরল করিয়াম। গাও গাও পুন গৌরাঙ্গের গুণ সরল করিয়াম। এ ভব সাগরে এমন দয়াল না দেখিয়ে এক জন। এ ভব সাগরে এমন দয়াল না দেখিয়ে এক জন। যদি গৌর না হইত তবে কি হইত, কেমনে ধরিতাম রে।